win because you trained hard, not because the guy fucking.
We are alive. Episode 103. The long-awaited episode 103 of Menace and the Man.
Yeah. Yeah. Would we hit 100 before the new year, and then we took a little.
Oh my God! Then Dennis had his little COVID scare. Just life started coming at us hard, Dennis.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bout.
Yeah.
A little bout with COVID.
He had a little bout with COVID.
No. Hey, Greg, turn your mic towards your mouth. It's like directional. You'll get everything you say.
I was told not to touch.
Why, you did not have a little bout with COVID, Dennis?
HIPAA.
What do you mean? I mean, we can get into that after we get rid of. After Greg goes.
Oh, get rid of me.
Once we get rid of you.
I mean, you gotta go. You gotta go. Fucking teach the boys how to spar. It's our fault on our end. But,
my fault, Dennis. You could say it.
Hang on. Long story short, Greg.
Yes.
Was gonna go to Hawaii to visit my brother. Fucking. I took 4 tests in 5 days. 3 of them came back negative. The one that counted came back positive, and I was in LA. I had to drive back across the country because you can't fly if you have a positive, and so now I'm in talks with the task people. Like, yo, you fucked me. It cost me this much to get across the country. You better come through. And they're like, it's looking pretty good. So
what happened? You went or no?
I did not go.
You drove back?
Yeah,
I did the same thing.
Who said that?
For the Burns Usman one, what was supposed to happen? Woke up, got a test, drove across the country, which I always wanted to do, but I kind of want to plan it. Like, I didn't just want to wake up and go, we got to drive across the whole country today.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were at Burns, Usman.
In
you
Vegas.
tested positive. Somebody did.
The day we were, Gilbert and Wagner.
Broca.
And then we all jumped in the car, drove the COVID car all the way back.
Man. So, yeah, let me just get this a little closer. Get it out there.
Yeah, it's. I would definitely. I've drove across the country twice. Once from Miami to LA, and now from LA to New York.
What did I tell you? Party boy.
Yep.
You know, I got the beer.
We probably spent 36-hour drive. We probably spent 80 or 90 minutes outside the car total.
Really?
It was a bit of drive.
Oh, you guys just how long to get?
Well, they told us we couldn't stop. I mean, stop for gas and that's it. But I don't know. I mean,
who's they?
UFC.
Okay,
bro, weren't they kind of giving you that, Dennis? They were like, you know, if you get stopped in another state, you're going to be in trouble.
I was going off of the scare tactic of the government, where they're, if you have a positive test and you're out and about, you can get fined, anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000. I'm like, I don't have that to just throw away,
I just want to go.
Yeah, and versus quarantine in Vegas in a hotel room. I'm like, fuck that.
No.
I would much rather be in my. But did you actually test positive?
I didn't get a positive test until I got back to Florida.
Huh.
Man.
So you had the COVID.
So you were exposed to it, they said.
Right.
So that's why, yeah. Didn't was it you who got in trouble with Bellator?
Come on, man. Why you gotta bring it up?
I'm just saying. All right. I asked you if you had things. It was you? I'm like, right before we went live, I'm like, Greg, is there anything you don't want to talk about? He's like, no, but I'm going to kick you. What'd you say? I'm going to kick you under the table.
No, it's not. I don't want to make light of it. But yeah. I was punished for breaking COVID protocol.
But you had a positive test or you didn't have a positive test?
Not this. That was something different.
Oh, yeah. But so Henry.
That was like a bullshit rule.
Yeah.
That was a really busy time for us. We were on the road. It was Fight Island in Singapore. And I actually, whenever I got to Connecticut, was the second time I had seen Jason Jackson in several weeks. The last 4 or 5 weeks of his camp, that was the second time I'd seen him. So we just went next door for a weight loss session.
Hey, bud, how you doing? You good?
Got caught, and got fined, and.
But even we're seeing now, the country's now opening up because I guess they got the result they wanted. So Florida was living right the whole time, but New York's about to open up, California's about to open up, Chicago, because they got Trump out of office. So, and they won a couple of seats in the House and whatever, but we don't want to talk politics. We got Greg Jones here, wrestling legend, Dennis Bermudez. Hey, but like I was saying before, tell me about the time, Dennis. He doesn't know the story. What happened?
We're at the Navy Classic at 157, I think.
Who were you wrestling?
Had Yargi.
Oh, yeah.
In like the semis or something like that.
Always great bouts.
Yeah. It was the Battle of Gas Tanks.
Yes, you guys fought like hell every time.
Couple Mexicans going after, clubbing each other. He was definitely a more technical wrestler than me. I would think. I was just kind of just more broody,
Yeah.
And it was like, what was it? I was down by 1 in the third. I shot. I had something, and you were like, "No, two." And I was like, "Yes, like I have this." And the ref was like, "Nope." And like out of bounds, something that I was like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me." And I ended up like wrecking his shoulder where he ended up DQing, where I think we might have went into overtime.
I remember that. I remember that.
We were going to go into overtime had I got the two, and he couldn't fucking, I would have won. And I was like, "You motherfucker." And it's because Greg Jones was like, "Nope, that is not two." The guy was like, "Yep, I'm just a ref." Greg Jones,
I wish I had that much pull, Dennis.
Bro. Hey, I saw that
Yo, you might have.
Bro, I saw that ref later, and like, he must have saw like red in my eyes. I was like, because we were like, I think I was maybe going to the cafeteria or something like that, and he was just like, head down as he walked past me. Like, "You fucking piece of shit."
You've seen that. I've seen it in jiu-jitsu tournaments where, like, if your coach is Brazilian, because like the IBJFF, whatever it is, that's a Brazilian-run league. They go, no takedown, no points, no back take, no pass, no nothing. I can see it absolutely happening in wrestling.
I just help him out.
What was his highest accomplishment?
He might have been a round of 12 guy a couple times, but he had a really good. He started wrestling like in the freshman in college. High school, I think. But he was trained with the church boys in Valentin Kalika. Coached him in high school, so he went overseas with him a couple times, and was a really fun wrestler. Actually, one of my favorite guys to coach. Actually, he was so tough.
It's wild in the sport of wrestling. Like, you can just dedicate your life to for legit. You've seen it. Like, 1 month fucking hard and listen to what everybody's telling you to do the right things, and you'll go like this. I mean, if there's room for that.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, I can't be like, "Hey, I'm gonna give it a month. I'm gonna get like Dake." Like, no, that you need.
Yeah. But no, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
before we went live, I said to him, "That's what CERM. I got good from CERM. I sucked in high school. I didn't wrestle long enough. Then when I wrestled with CERM out of high school, you get a good coach, and it's like, oh shit, I now know how to do anything wrestling wise."
So like I was talking to me and Greg were talking about before, like, watching some of these professional athletes wrestle, it's just like that's you're a professional athlete. Where if one of those guys were like, "Yo, Greg, tell me what to do for this 1 month."
Yeah.
And wait, Dennis, oh my God, what the fuck is Ben Askren doing? What is Ben doing? You sent me that today. You said
you're gonna get paid,
bro. He makes me like stutter. I can't even. His boxing's not good. When you train an MMA fighter today, I love Ben Askren. He's been on the show. He's one of our guys. But you want to tell if you're training a fighter, you want to go. You got to train your stand-up. You know why? You don't want to be Ben Askren. You don't want to go out there looking like Ben Askren. Tell me a worse, bro. You know I love Ben Askren. Tell me a worse striker in the UFC. I'll wait. No name's gonna jump out.
Who is the fucking guy I don't like? Hall.
Ryan Hall's got better stand-up than Ben Askren. Ryan Hall's got tricky stand-up.
Listen, I don't.
Right?
Give,
Yeah.
I think you could put Ben Askren against Jake Paul, and Jake Paul's best sport. I think he still wins. I think he's tougher, and he's just more of an athlete. Where I also think he's a prideful man. Where like this is
that's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
now we've all
respect the
seen
hell.
pride destroy people.
But
I mean,
but good for him though. He's never hesitated to put himself out there though.
No, but
He's never hesitated. He walks in the fire.
let's say, Stan, where I feel like you're going with this. Like, let's say he loses. Like, okay, I've got a fucking boatload of cash, and you know what I'm really good at? Wrestling. And nobody can take that from me. And I'll still be a legend. I still was a multiple champion. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and even like me and Greg were saying, he could probably go, all right, 8-round fight. I'm a super fucking athlete. I got to just take this guy deeper into the fight. He won't even know what to do rounds 5, 6, and 7. But there's that. Yeah, there's that if he gets there, you know, there actually is a real thing. Jake Paul is not that good, but he's a big guy, hits hard enough. Ben Askren is not that good, like, either. So it's like, oh, this is actually...
yeah, but people had a hard time getting to his legs, right? Because his hands were just fucking everywhere. People also had a hard time punching him because he would just be like...
Do I want Ben Askren to win? Absolutely. Absolutely, but it's like one of those
when they
ones.
tie up, if you don't think he's be pulling on his head and Jake Paul will be exhausted
That's what I just said.
Yeah. I said to Greg...
He shouldn't. Jake Paul shouldn't box. He should just hand fight. Find a wrestler and hand fight.
You're saying Jake Paul.
That would be my approach. I would punch.
Jake.
If I was Ben, I can't throw a punch to save my life either.
Jake Paul. I know a guy.
Walk forward and hand fight the heck out of him.
I know a guy, Jake Paul. He'll work with you.
No, dirty box, like
Yeah,
Paul
yeah.
on the ropes, dirty box him. You win that fight.
Dig your forehead in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was saying.
Be like mean. He's a mean man.
You have to agree. Ben does find a way to win.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think Ben KOs him. I'm gonna put that out there.
Do you know what I wonder too is how much striking did he work on when he was fighting? Because he was probably so good at wrestling, so good at the grappling, that it's probably like, I don't really need to work at my striking that much because I'm going to do what I do.
Shows.
Yeah, I'm going
It shows.
I got it.
Greg, what were you, 4 years older than him?
You know, I can't remember. We had an overlap. I want to say 2 or 3.
Okay.
I want to say 2 or 3. Whenever
And he was at a smaller weight class, obviously.
I feel like Ben came in at 174 the year I moved up to 184, which would have been my junior.
Okay.
So I don't think we were ever in the same weight class.
And even that,
Was he like, I know like his junior or senior year was just like this guy, he just, if you touch his leg, you're going rolling and he's going to end up on top or you on your back. Was he like that in like or his freshman and sophomore year?
Yeah, I think so, and I think he's able to refine it more as he got older. You know what I mean? But yeah, the only guy that really figured out how to deal with it was Pendleton. Chris Pendleton was just a little bit better in some of those areas. You know?
Were you wrestling the same time that Mitch Clark? Is that your era?
Nope. Mitch Clark just teched my older brother in the NCAA finals in the first period in 2000.
Okay.
That would have been the year I graduated high school. 16-0 NCAA finals. First period.
Now, you know what's going on. Obviously, when you watch, you're like, damn, that sucks. And you feel whatever. But, like, a couple weeks go by, like, bro, like, you want me to call, like, Clark to get over here? Or
Willie Saylor just posted that match last weekend on Twitter.
oh, yeah?
Yeah. And I said it to my brother. Because what he did, he had a leg turn kid, right? He swung the gate, shoulder blade half, 5 count, back over. He never let the figure 4 go, and they let him do it. And my brother was a good sport. He's like, yeah, I probably did the same outcome. But
so who was better? How good was your brother? He was good?
he was very good.
But obviously he wasn't.
My brother was 2-time finalist, so he was 2-time runner-up in the third place.
Okay, so
You're the middle brother.
Right in the middle.
All 3 wrestled?
All 3.
So was there a lot of fighting in the house growing up?
No, we weren't allowed.
Weren't allowed.
The worst thing we could do growing up is fight amongst ourselves in the house. There's 5 of us, small house, things falling apart, and we put each other through the wall, and there was going to be some kind of, we just.
Were you allowed to wrestle with each other
in the wrestling room? In the wrestling room.
Oh, you guys had a wrestling room?
Yeah, right in the basement.
Okay.
That's where I got started.
Yeah.
But if you guys were doing horseplay in the kitchen, in the living room.
No, not tolerant at all.
Yeah. My dad used to come in with a broom. He would hit me and my younger brother with the metal side, the broom. And so I'd be on top of my younger brother Jay, and I'd hear my dad clicking the ground as he's walking. So I would grab Jay and pull him on top of me. The only time he'd be on top of me is when my dad came. I just pull him on like a shield.
That's what his sister does. She'll beat the shit out of him and run right to me, and he's the bad one coming and attacking her for payback, so he looks like he's the aggressor.
So who we got here?
Say, what's up, big dog?
Hello.
This is my little man here. He just finished his class.
Now, did you go?
So he's 2 weeks into wrestling now, right?
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
What's your name?
Grayson.
I was great. Oh, Grayson. I thought I was about to. Oh, so you are a little Greg, but Grayson.
But look, I got to run here. We got a trainer here for probably about an hour. If you guys still on, I'll jump back on.
Yes.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yes. Pop in even for a minute because we want to get your take on Usman Burns.
No, for sure. I got you.
But yes, wrestling legend Greg
Did you
Jones.
just hear that?
What?
Is that G Fuel?
Oh, what? They know G Fuel? You guys know G Fuel? Well, you know G Fuel? All kids in here. Yeah, they all know G Fuel. So big G Fuel.
We gotta get a
fans,
tub. We gotta get a tub down to Sanford.
Yeah, Sal. I was actually gonna hit Sal up and be like, "Yo, Sal, just send me a care package because I have people down here who want to try some G Fuel."
All right.
And then Sal's gonna be like, "Yeah, go to Wawa and buy it." But Menace, it's good to see you, bro. How you been?
Likewise. So
I feel like it's been ages since we podcasted.
yeah. Well, the last one was with Gilbert, and
Apparently, even this one, my people are saying we have a little bit of background audio, but we'll work on it. What it is we're in a big open room. I brought the better mics and stuff because I didn't want to go 0 for 4 on podcasting in the state of Florida. But
you know what you have to do though, because those mics are, expensive, really good mics. You need to eat them.
yeah, your audio just completely cut out. Yeah, you just grabbed your mic and broke it.
Nah, I hit the mute button.
Oh, okay.
I tried to grab it like Mick Jagger.
But yeah, Henry's here. They got sparring going on. I'm not ready to spar yet, but so what's happened since the last episode of Menace?
Stanley, come. We need. I can't. I'm podcasting. I can't leave, Henry.
Oh, even I talked to Greg about it before. He was standing right next to me when I got my nose busted open 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I remember now." And I was like, "Oh, so you saw that?" Yeah. But nah, man, we were talking to Greg about it right before we went live. How you're going to get back into jiu-jitsu? I caught the bug again. I'm back, 100%.
You gotta do a full look. I'm gonna take a few pictures, and I'm looking to do Memorial Day, transformation?
Transformation. Stan the Man is transforming. Dennis is transforming. And even I don't want to fight again. I just want to get back in shape, just figure that shit out, get skinny again. And Dennis is going to become a jiu-jitsu champion. Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. You might run into those people like Greg was saying that you're a trophy to them.
Yeah, but hang on. Do you know how many people Greg was a trophy to?
I didn't want to throw it out there, but I was going to be like, did you and Rashad ever wrestle again? In practice or something? How did he beat you? Not throwing shade at Rashad, but that's Rashad, Greg was such a dominant wrestler in college that's the win that it's how'd you lose to this guy?
Yeah.
Even though he's Rashad and he was a stud too, but Greg was that good. Me, I know wrestling a little bit. I don't know all the names like you guys.
The thing is, when you're an All-American, you're as multiple-time All-American. You probably just didn't have your perfect day of a tournament become a national champion. You were just slightly off or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, game of disgusting inches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even what he say? His brother was a 2-time finalist. That's got to be tough because you're I was so close. Pat. That was very close, your boy Durkin. But yeah, here at Sanford, we haven't talked or podcasted in a minute. The Max Holloway Cater fight we didn't cover, we didn't go over.
Yeah, well, we'll start there. And we'll move.
Well, even
move about.
the UFC, like, what are you doing, bro? Dennis Bermudez beat Max Holloway. You mentioned that to me. You're like, they basically were like, he lost to Dustin Poirier, and then he lost to Conor McGregor. It's like that they erased Dennis Bermudez from the history books. Like, what'd you do, Dennis?
Yeah, they could give you a cool thing like lost to Dustin Poirier, lost to Dennis Bermudez, lost to Conor, and then a quick guys, I'm out. So you can't get that rematch back. But then you and Dustin fought, you won, beat Dustin.
Even the fact that just you beat Max Holloway. Why would they? That fight was a really good fight. When you go back and watch it, people always say, I've heard a lot of people say, and I'm sure you've heard it, oh, Max won that fight. Go back and watch it. No. First glance, maybe, because of the first round with the spinning back kick and shit, but second round, super competitive, you probably stole it. Third round, you were crushing him. And then I always say it, fifth round, he was not making it. That night, Max Holloway was not making it to the fifth round.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm sure improved endlessly, but...
Oh, for sure.
But amazing performance against Calvin Kattar. Everyone now is back on that Max Holloway hype train. Like Gilbert said even, he didn't think he really lost to Volkanovski, so... But even so, right now, Volkanovski's about to fight Ortega for the title.
Right. So... Now you got to kind of think of, because Conor made a comment he wants to fight 7 times in the next 2 years or something like that. I'm
I don't know.
I think you're talking crazy, but okay. But anyways, if that's the case, then there's time to do a Conor Max Holloway rematch before one of the two of them compete potentially for a 145 title.
But what would be what's the fight right now, Conor's not fighting 7 fights in the next couple of years. He's in trouble right now. People are saying, I don't want to see Max Holloway go back up to 55. He didn't look good there against Poirier. Poirier looked a lot bigger than him.
Right.
I'll watch him versus Max. I'll watch him versus Max. Him versus Alex every weekend. Volkanovski.
Right. Now, my question is does Max wait for the Volkanovski Ortega fight and fight the winner of that, or he beats somebody else up? Like I said, him versus Conor is a super fight that could, put money in their pockets.
But Holloway's dangerous. Holloway's tough. He beats Max Holloway. He beats Conor.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying do it this way for Max, not for
Oh, you're saying let's get one more good one out of Conor. Let's get Max this win back. Or get Max this win. I don't know.
But I saw even about Ben earlier, and Ben was saying that the next move for Conor, if any, would be Conor versus Nick or Nate. You know what I mean?
Him versus Nick, take my money. Him versus Nate, I'll take my money too, and I want to see, but
the thing is if he loses to Nick, it's still it's not in the running for anything. It's just
I'm a Conor fan. I don't want Conor to go away. Right. I almost want him to be the guy that if he does fight once a year, give him the not winnable fight, but give him the 5 guy, the 6 guy, the Cowboy Cerrone. I don't think he's in the mix right now for the 1, 2, 3. Poirier, that was a tough fight for him. Even though he beat Poirier the first time, Poirier's been more consistent the last couple of years. Poirier's changed a lot since the first fight. Poirier's probably made more improvements than Conor since the first fight.
So moving away from 145 for 1 second. So are you saying another fight for Conor could be, since 155 title, it's not set in stone, but Poirier said, hey, I want Oliveira next. Oliveira does deserve a title fight. The dude's won 8 in a row in style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All
He's not very
stop.
marketable.
All stoppages.
He's marketable for sure, but like the UFC likes people that speak like awesome English and have this swag about them of some sort, you know.
Which he does not. He has Brazilian swag. He definitely has
Yeah,
Brazilian
I mean,
swag.
in Brazil, he's a superstar. I'm sure, but
That's a market they want to do as well, though. So that could happen. You know, they got.
but I don't think there's as much money in Brazil as there is in like America.
No, but there's a market for them.
Hey, hang on. Here's what it comes down to at the end of the day: is pay-per-view sales.
Yes.
Who moves the meter?
Yes. So, man, like where do we even start, me and you? It's been forever, man. I missed you.
So like I was saying, let me keep going.
I just said I missed you. I just said I missed you, Menace, and you were like, oh, anyway, let me keep going.
Anyway, so if Poirier is fighting Oliveira, does Chandler sit on the bench until the winner of that fight, or does Chandler fight Conor?
I am. Do you automatically get a title shot for beating up Conor McGregor? Is that
if he finishes Hooker and then let's say he beats Conor?
There's a conversation that you could almost go, how about Oliveira versus Chandler? Why is Poirier just fought Khabib, got his title shot, and did not win? Maybe
the winner of that gets Poirier?
Yeah. Because Poirier just went to war with Dan Hooker. Fight could have went either way.
Hang on. Who wins that fight, Oliveira or Chandler?
I'm in Sanford. I can't say Oliveira right now. But, you know,
I was thinking that. But I'm going to say Chandler. I think it's...
Like I told you, we were both going there. We were both like, Hooker's a weird stylistic matchup. It's definitely going to be a tough intro for Chandler to get into the UFC, calf kick and the range. And no, not at all. He fucking destroyed Dan Hooker.
Double change, got him on his heels.
Yeah, like Henry was in here before, and I gave him the, congrats, like great work with the low kick, and I almost want to get Henry on once he's done with the class, maybe even, and be like, what did you do there? Like, what did you see? Like, because that's Dan Hooker's move. Like, you saw the Gilbert Burns fight. That's how he fucked like Gilbert up a little bit. Was that calf kick, and then it set up all these other punches and knees. And
I got an idea. What if you get a little like video clip for the Menace and the Man page of like a little clip of like, hey, how do you defend that low kick? And then him give you like a quick little tutorial.
Henry will be like, what do you want me to give it to everybody? What do you want me to give it out to everybody? Get the fuck out of my gym. Nah, even he's funny, bro. Before I was like, hey, what's going on, coach? He's like, call me Henry. Call me Henry.
Yeah, because coach is probably like an honorable thing, and you're not. He's never coached you, so.
Yeah, he has. What are you talking about? But yeah, Sanford. I'm back now, so I'm going to train here. UFC gym. I have a friend who's there. I'm going to try to pop into American Top Team. I don't want to say it out loud, but bounce around some gyms. Try to get the Menace down here. Have you started training at all yet, or?
I got primary school, so
okay.
I'm like, I should probably get that. That's the last schooling I need before I become a stepper. And then I'm like done with school. And now I'm like on my way to become a lineman, there's just too much to do down here is what it is. Like everywhere else. Where to get hurt, I'd be held back.
Oh.
I have to wait like almost a year to catch the next class that would go through primary school. So let me just
buckle it down, get this done.
Maybe I'll do some drilling or something like that, but
yeah. So,
first things first, I gotta get my gi fitting me right. It's gotta be perfect.
Have you looked into this at all yet?
I have the gis are here. I just need to.
Oh, you have. Where'd you get the gis from?
Amazon.
Oh, you bought gis off Amazon?
Yeah.
I was gonna try to get you a gi from a sponsor or something.
I'm still very open to that.
All right, so that's what I'm working on.
Because what's better than 2 gis?
The free one, or 3? Yeah, the free one.
Free. I mean that joke came twice as good.
Yeah. Can I return these other ones that I bought now? Or?
Well, no. I mean, they get dirty.
Yeah, similar to the way you have a couple of different pairs of gloves, you have a couple of different keys. But let's get into some more fighting. People don't want to hear about me or you, or maybe they do. But so Conor, Dustin Poirier, what'd you think of that one? I know you said you were a little in and out, right? You were sleeping at that point.
I woke up early that morning. I had my kids with me, so by the time the fights came, I was like nodding off. But I did see a good amount.
You woke up to AB like, "Let's go! I want my fucking money. $200. I want my money." And you're like, "Wait, you're my dad, though."
Well, the thing is listen. I mean, I looked at me and you. We have gone back and forth multiple times. So I'm like, dude, I think it's a different weight class. Dustin, is more hydrated. He's a fucking bigger dude. Me and you have gone back and forth with the pros and cons. And at the end of the day, I was just like,
We talked about it.
Conor made light work of Cowboy. You know what I mean? So I was like,
he beat Cowboy before that fight even started.
Right.
Cowboy wasn't.
But I mean, he had knocked Dustin out, so I wasn't sure how that was going to play in Dustin's head. I don't know Dustin on that level. But as a betting man, I was like, I think Conor. Every time I think Conor's going to win, he loses. Every time I think he's going to lose, it's the opposite. It's just like a real what I think.
So Conor just gets you. So now I got to wait for Conor's next fight, see what you think, and then.
I'm not gonna. I can't. I would never bet on him again.
And then bet the opposite. Like even that, we were talking about.
Yeah, but that's not real. That wouldn't be real.
But here, even before we went live, we were talking about how Chaz Skelly is such like a fight nerd and knows all the fighters. And then he was like, "Is Dennis like that?" Greg asked me, and I was like, "When me and Dennis go over a card, it's like I don't know him. I don't know him. I'm going with that guy. Why? I like his name. He's got a cool name." And then you have the couple and you're like, yeah, I think that guy's going to win. That guy's going to win. Chaz breaks down the fights, gets into the undercard and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so many things that I have a bunch of little things that obviously pop in my head. One thing I saw, I like the attractive women in MMA. Have you ever seen, remember we had Jessica Penne on, who I love to death, obviously. And we were like, oh, she's fighting Hannah Goldie. And I was like, oh, Hannah Goldie fucked up. Hannah Goldie's hot. Have you ever seen this chick? Yeah, it's two very attractive women, Jessica Penne and Hannah Goldie. I'm very much looking forward to that fight. So, that fight card, whatever number they are, they're going to be the third bout of the fight. All right, so the main event on that card is number 3. That's the fight I care about. Bro, I'll send you her IG and you're going to be like, oh, okay, who's this chick? She's in incredible shape, pretty blonde. And I was like, I never even seen this girl before in my life. She's a looker. You know that's how I pick. So, what do I do there? I flip a coin on that fight, or I guess I got to go Jess.
No chance.
I'm joking. I got to go Jess because obviously Menace and the man, but it's a tough one. I'm rooting for Jess, but I like Hannah Goldie. I do. I just thought I'd throw that out there. I just saw it last night. She popped up on my feed. I was like, who the fuck is this chick? And then I was like, oh, this is the girl Jessica's fighting.
And then your heart went
no. And then if she beat Jessica, we get her on. I knew you were going to win that fight.
Where is she at?
I don't know. I saw her in Florida. That's where she came up on my feed. She was training with Jillian Robertson and stuff. But
wow.
I just thought I'd throw it out there. I know Menace likes, every now and then they hear about an attractive female fighting in MMA.
Why don't you
shoot a shot?
Try to fuck up her game and try and hang out with her.
She's married, has a kid.
Again, really throw a wrench in there. Hook up with her, right? Call her husband fight night. Hey, nailed your lady.
Go talk to her about it. Go talk to her about it.
Jessica out of rage.
Yeah, I'll hit Jessica up. I'm working on some things for your next fight. Don't worry, fight night is gonna pay off. But yeah. So even we'll bounce back to that. I don't know why the Hannah Goldie thing just popped in my head. But what happens now at 155? Khabib was flirting with if someone impressive comes, someone who performs impressively. Do you get any more impressive than Michael Chandler? That right there? And his speech, you saw his speech after the fight too?
Yes.
That's
like powerful.
That's like, here's the line. What's up, bro? Like, Michael Chandler's waiting.
But then after all the fights, Khabib says nothing impressed him.
Yeah.
Hear me out. I don't think there's any chance Khabib's scared, but let's say he was like, tough fight. He'd be like, yeah, no one impressed me. Sorry, you guys all suck. You know?
I mean, he's done. So even Dana now has put out, if Khabib doesn't want to fight, I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to make him fight. So the next move, UFC's probably going to make the next move soon. And what's it going to be? Conor, and even that, what do you think could happen now for Conor? We could just this is 155 is crazy right now after this past weekend. Like everyone's consensus was, the odds makers, most fight fans probably were like, oh, Conor's going to win and Conor will be in the next title fight. Now it's like, so I saw Dustin Poirier posted something online to Yves Edwards, and he's like, hey man, I'm just like you now. I'm the uncrowned lightweight champion. Because remember how for a time Yves was the uncrowned lightweight champion. They never belt to give him. That's Poirier right now. Who else is number one?
Who was holding up the division when Yves was?
They scrapped the division. They scrapped the division. Like I think they were
because of was it WEC?
No, because if I remember correctly, a fan or something could correct me, or on the next episode I'll have the rebuttal. But I'm pretty sure. Remember, they had a 155-pound tournament, and the finals ended in a draw. And then I guess they didn't get good ratings or whatever, so I think they kind of like faded out the lightweight belt, and they were like, we don't even want it no more. But they were still having lightweight fights. And BJ Penn went to Japan, and went to Japan, and a lot of their fighters went elsewhere. And number 1 and number 2, or top 5, was Yves and Josh Thompson. Then they fought that fight where Yves knocked them out.
Yes.
That was pretty much for the uncrowned champion. And so it's funny that Poirier throws that up and is like, oh, I'm the uncrowned lightweight champion because they're boys, you know.
Yeah.
That's Poirier's style, Thug Jitsu.
Yeah, Thug Jitsu.
Thug Jitsu. Is he down here in LA? I should probably even try to link up with Yves if he's down here right now.
I don't know where he is because I hit him up when I was in LA, like, you around? And he was like, nah, I'm out of town because of COVID. Like, it's locked down. I ain't trying to be there.
Yeah, last time we had him on, I think he's he's hiding out or something from COVID in Maryland or Washington or somewhere like that. Like somewhere.
Because I know he used to live in Texas, but I don't know.
Yeah, you got to go to one of those states now. So Texas, Florida, I think maybe Kentucky or something are open, but everywhere else is shot right now. Shot. But even back to 155, how about this? How about Conor McGregor versus Tony Ferguson? Both coming off a loss, both superstars, both big names in MMA.
Were they ever supposed to fight?
No. Talked about maybe or offered, but they used to have the same management company and just. I think Tony left the management company because the way Conor was treated and the way he was treated, and Conor was a big sticking point for him in leaving. So there's definitely some animosity there. There's definitely some storyline there. They're both coming off the loss, and they're both, like I said, huge superstars in MMA. Both very important in the 155 landscape right now. So it was actually my cousin that brought that up, and I was like, yo, that's the fight. That's the fight to make, I think. Conor. I love it. Conor versus Tony Ferguson. Let's do this, Dana.
I think that's the most winnable fight for Conor.
Unless he goes to 10 to 15, gets out of that top 10 is scary for coming off a loss. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of guys on the come up right now. Let me get it up. But 155 definitely got shooken up. Oh, and even so, another thing we talked about in the past, how I always said I thought Conor looked bigger than Poirier in the first fight. What'd you think this fight? A lot of people, I thought Poirier looked a lot bigger than him.
He's got a big rib cage.
I thought he looked like
thick core.
He looked like thick or like solid. Conor has bigger legs, but this like Conor's a little more cut up, if you will. But yeah,
I don't know about that because Dustin wears like shorts. It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
But I don't think you're wrong though.
but when I saw that, I didn't even say it. Someone I was watching the fights with was like, "Bro, I watched your like I remember your podcast. You said that he definitely looks bigger than him right now." And I was like, "Yeah, maybe." And then when they started moving around, I was like, "Yeah, he does. I think he does." So great weekend of fights. Michael Chandler, what an amazing performance. So the crazy thing too is the day when I trained at Sanford, that was a combination they were working. Like that was the combination for the day. You know how Henry will start with a combination and then he keeps adding and then he keeps building on it. That was the combination. That was one of the combinations, that 2 and a hook to the head. Now I was like, oh, so I drilled it a bunch of times. And then obviously this guy's doing it right and guys doing it really good, Michael Chandler and Gilbert and shit. And then to see, like the same way we talked about the calf kick, we could have Henry be like, Henry, show us that combination, show us the calf kick. How'd you break down the calf kick? Right. Like, and even I don't want to be like, Chandler, you didn't do that. Henry Hoop did it. I wonder who came up with that, like who figured that out. Just very good at what they did to diffuse the calf kick. Amazing. And then
he also like studies a lot of tape and right?
Yeah.
I heard that.
Who?
Chandler.
I think Chandler's crazy. Yeah, like Chandler's probably like obsessed with you when he's fighting you, like knows your every move, blah, blah, blah. I could see that. I've never really heard how he is. We got to get him on the show. You got to just slide in those DMs. When I talked to him, that fight came together quick. So like the day that I even talked to Chandler here and I was like, yo, you want to come on the podcast, blah, blah, that day the fight got booked or announced that he was fighting Hooker. And I was like, oh shit, that's
no, usually you know like for like a week.
Yeah,
it actually hits hard, you know.
Well, he was supposed to fight. Though the talk was that he was on that day fighting Gaethje.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden it wound up being Hooker. Apparently the rumor, like they said, like Chaz and Gilbert said, it's going to be probably Gaethje versus Oliveira. And then, or that's something that was rumored. And then the title fights. Khabib's not coming back to fight Dustin Poirier. Unless he's on some humanitarian shit. And he's like, I'll come back and fight you again, Dustin Poirier, and I'll donate all my proceeds to your charity or something like that. Which would actually be amazing. Imagine if he did that, because then it'd be like, let me show you something, Conor. What'd you donate? $500K?
Right.
Here's $10 million, Dustin. Go save the world, you know?
No, but Khabib has a bunch of like a bunch of fucking like donation funds and
charities and whatnot.
Charities. Yeah. Shit, I couldn't fucking find that word.
I think Conor does too, but I think he just saw like a good opportunity and maybe genuine. I think Conor was genuine. Like, so, even this. That was a way different Conor McGregor. Like you talked about it. I remember LaFleur saying it. I've heard BJ Penn say it. I've heard a lot of fighters say kids can't change that killer instinct. You know, they humble you a little bit and make you a little softer, if you will.
Yeah.
Conor, that could have been Conor's not that same guy.
But it was definitely refreshing to see this mature side of Conor.
Wasn't the entertainment though? Remember how great Conor?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say you're lying. I was on the edge of my seat, like waiting for it. And I still was like in anticipation, and then when it didn't happen, I was like.
And the girls never showed. The girls never came.
But then, like the next day, I'm like, I was looking for some witty one-liner or something to laugh about, you know.
The fight fan in you was like, "Go, Conor! Say something stupid. Say something crazy." The dad in you afterward was like, "Good dude. Like I like that. You know, he's humbled. He's fucking better now."
Not the dad in me. The like, probably more the fighter in me.
Well, did you see that?
Fighters are generally pretty like. Modest and, you know.
Did you see that one respectful thing at the press conference? They asked, like, are your kids going to be watching? They asked Conor, Chandler, Hooker, and Poirier. And it was just crazy to think, like, yeah, all four of these guys, you've seen them fight. You've seen them be killers. Now they're all fathers, and they're all, like, all over social media, all over the internet.
What were the answers?
Chandler said his kid's not watching. Conor was like, my kid's watching, won't be at the arena. Dustin was like, my kid will be sleeping, but she knows what I do. And Dan Hooker was like, my kid will be watching, my kid will be screaming, like my kid will be all about it. So nice job, Michael Chandler. You beat the guy up in front of his kid. Fucked him up.
Yeah, man, that was one of my. I think my kids watched like back home, but to bring them to an arena, I was just like, they were pretty young when I fought, but just.
Didn't they come to the last one?
Added pressure.
Did they come to the last one, or they didn't come to any?
No. I thought about it, but it was just added pressure that I was like, let me just.
And then it was Chandler who kind of said, like, this is Conor McGregor next to me. I respect that. I'm sure he's changed and become a better man. I said something along those lines. And that's the thing, too. Like, Chandler's got to be. He's not the bad boy. He's not Conor McGregor breaking windows and smashing phones and stuff like that, marketability. But as far as, like, the straight edge crowd and humble and, like, good working, that crowd.
Yeah.
Michael Chandler all day. Like, put that
role model.
Put that guy on the Wheaties box. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that guy could be that type of role model athlete. Like, I almost feel like I don't want to maybe waste too much time in Bellator, Like, that's the UFC's dream, marketability-wise, I think.
Yeah.
Just me.
Their dream marketability?
Yeah.
Is Conor. What do you mean?
Is Conor, but I'm saying the flip side of that coin. Like, they want both probably. You know what I mean? I would think. Because Chandler could talk. That's what I'm saying. Like, you get those guys who are cringy, and it's like, God and my family and blah, blah, blah. Chandler could talk. He talks about that type of stuff, but then he also has, like, very analytical breakdowns on how he'll beat guys and how he sees fights going. And so,
right.
Big fan of the guy. Big fan of the guy. But like we talked about, we thought that was a tough fight for him. And then I told you last minute before the fight, I went hard on Chandler because I saw the 9 losses and I was like, I always think of what you said. You watch the losses and that's how you figure out how to beat someone.
Yes. No. Well, just the fact that you can allow a loss.
Yeah. If 9 people.
Like, that's the thing. That's how I used to look at people's records. Like, hang on. This guy has 9 losses. This guy's accepted defeat.
Yeah.
And there may have been at least a handful of them that were like
questionable.
Out of his control.
Yeah.
Or questionable.
The calf kick time.
Times where he went like, yeah, I just don't have it in me. I just can't. You know what I mean? We're like, someone like Khabib, he doesn't know what can't means. It doesn't even register. Like, so, Khabib's leg would have had to be completely broken, but the ref's like, you can't stand on it. I gotta end this fight.
What do you think? Do you think Khabib's coming back?
No, I'm just saying. Like, for example, like,
I know
Dustin was fucking thrashing my lead leg. My mindset, I'll fucking get on my knee and my hand, and we'll take this fight somewhere else. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I was almost going off topic there, if you will. Do you think Khabib? Yeah. Do you think Khabib's coming back? Because that seems to be the question right now. Like George St. Pierre put out a statement and said, Khabib's bigger than me. Something along these lines, not verbatim, was that Khabib's bigger than him. So they almost have to, I don't even know what he was saying, like give GSP more time for the fight or maybe fight at a different weight. I don't know what they were really, I got to read whatever he was saying, but he was pretty much
GSP was going to fight Khabib?
GSP was kind of insinuating that the fight probably won't happen, and if it's going to happen, he needs more time. Which Khabib...
Because Khabib is bigger than him.
Because Khabib is bigger than him. Something along those lines. I'll find the exact verbatim. And he said something like that, like Khabib is just better at better at cutting weight. You know what I mean? Yeah, so when GSP won't let the UFC lowball the shit out of him by approaching them for the Khabib fight. Morning Report, GSP discusses lost fight with Khabib. So I guess he's now seeing the fight's over or off. And then Khabib said GSP's the legacy fight, Conor's the money fight. But yeah, so I think this might be done. I think Khabib retires. I'd love to see him versus GSP. I'd love to be proven wrong there, but I think I don't want to say divas, but too high level of egos, if you will, or too high. It's two A sides. You know what I mean? That's a tough fight.
Who's the other A side?
GSP and Khabib.
Yeah, who's the GSP? Yes. Who's the other A side?
Khabib, I'm saying.
What do you mean? He's ready to go.
No, I'm saying like for that fight, they probably both want like, it's not like boxing where they get a 50-60 split or whatever, or 60-40. It's probably just, no, I want my demands to be met. And then Khabib comes back like, I'm fucking Khabib. I want my demands to be met. Like, I don't know if their legacies or egos will let them meet in the middle for that fight.
I feel like Khabib would fight him in Canada.
Yeah, so Khabib's not going.
Like send location.
Do you think Khabib would go GSP? How's 170 sound? Or would he go GSP? You make 155 and we fight.
I don't know.
Because I think that's the holdup right now.
I've never seen Khabib fight.
And here's the thing too. We've talked about it. We need to get Dana back on once we're more situated with me in Florida and or maybe next week when I'm back in New York. We should try to get Dana on. Make the 165-pound division. You could make the first 165-pound title fight. Khabib versus GSP. If either guy wins and retires right after the fight, the legacy with that belt is off to a great start. You know what I mean? Khabib's a double champion or GSP's a triple champion. Like, there's no bad move
what
there.
What do you mean double and triple champion?
Khabib was a champion at 155. Now he becomes champion at 165.
Oh, okay.
GSP goes 185, 170.
Oh, that's right. He did win the title at 185. Forgot about that.
Yeah, it's a real simple fix, Dana. Throw in the UFC's 165 division.
The fight would have to happen at 170.
No, 165. And we could do it as soon as February. Just Kamaru Usman, you're promoted to the 175-pound champion. If after this fight you win, you can go be a double. You've won enough fights, we'll give you a 185 title shot or a 165-pound title shot if you think you can make it. Same thing for Gilbert. If you win, you're the 175-pound champion, go defend the belt, and I think we need those one or two more. Like, so Khabib versus GSP, that's the problem right now, is the weight and GSP going, I don't think I can make 155, or I can make it, but it's going to be tough, or Khabib's bigger than me, like all these different scenarios. Just super fight, new division, super fucking championship belt, 165-pound division.
To be honest with you, don't really want to see a GSP fight.
Why?
He's past his prime.
Okay, so even if just use the name GSP, forget him past his prime, do you agree with me or disagree with me that that'd be a good scenario for them? Even if the
business-wise, yes. I don't think you're wrong.
Even if Khabib or GSP retire right after, like I know.
Hang on, that. Yeah, but to go, Kamara, you're the 175-pound champion right away. Like, what if he doesn't want to fight at 175?
Then win the belt, win your next fight, and go fight at 65 or 85 and become a double champ. Like, we've talked about this. I don't know why we didn't go there with Dana when we had him on. Boxing came first before UFC and MMA. What used to make boxers so marketable was he's a 3-weight world champion, he's a 4-weight world champion. It wasn't, the guy's been a champion at 1 weight class. Most marketable guy in boxing. Unless you're talking about like heavyweight, Tyson. That's different. Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao. Give me other big names in boxing. James Toney. Like, there's just everyone other than a heavyweight. It's not, I was a champion in 1 weight class. Like Ryan Garcia apparently is about to move up and fight Pacquiao or try to do it. It's always multiple weight classes. So that's what makes you marketable, is 6-weight world champion, 4-weight world champion. What made Conor super marketable? Champ. I'm the champ. Do whatever the fuck I want. I'm the champ. Make some champs.
That was amazing. And I would like to apologize to absolutely fucking nobody.
He's like, I know I've put you all through hell. I've ridiculed everybody. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this time to apologize. That's, you ever see the TikToks where it says a video that lives rent-free in your head? You never seen this?
Uh-uh.
Well, that's a video that lives rent-free in my head. So I posted it on TikTok. And like I don't even think I sent the message. I was going to write it, and then I didn't write it. I wanted to tell you should start making some TikToks, bro.
Yeah, I gotta sign on to our account and see how it works.
TikTok was not made for Stan the Man. Maybe it was made for memes or something. TikTok was made for the Dennis Bermudez type.
Yeah, I gotta have a look. And
So imagine
I
that.
have it downloaded on my phone. I just haven't signed into it yet.
Dennis Bermudez is going to be the next TikTok superstar. I feel it.
Password and everything like that.
I feel it. Next TikTok superstar.
Is Paige Van Zandt fighting soon?
Down here. Yo, maybe that weekend if we can get you down here. When's school now? What'd you say was school?
February 1st is 3 weeks. So February's...
All right, so you can't come. I think she fights February 5th or 6th.
Oh, so like
Yeah.
not this weekend, the following weekend.
Yeah, I think next weekend, yeah. She's fighting
Super Bowl weekend.
Super Bowl weekend. And I think Tampa or a couple hours from where I am right now. And I was like, oh, maybe I'd go to that, but I think I might be in New York for it. But
My man Johnny Bedford's on it.
Johnny Bedford's going to fuck somebody up, I imagine.
I think he's the co-main event.
And what, Paige is the main?
I think so.
I mean, that's the biggest
The
get.
girl that Paige is fighting, I think you would like her.
I do like her. She's my speed, as you would say.
Yeah.
So it's like 50-50 when Dennis Bermudez goes, hey, Stan, you'd like her. She's your speed. It's either she's a fucking train wreck, and he's like, you like her? I'm like, no, I don't. Like, you know? Or it's she's actually attractive.
Or it's like an IG model.
Or it's like the line is very fine that you walk with that. Like she's your speed. She looks like a crackhead, Dennis. She's your speed. That's the hottest girl I've ever seen, Dennis. Yes, that's every man's speed. What is it? Britton Hart. Britton. Let's see.
I just saw the flyer on like Johnny Bedford's.
Bro, even so, me and Greg were talking about, like, obviously, me and Greg almost had a conversation on podcast before while I was even setting things up.
Yeah, I know.
And then we were saying how fighters need something to do after fighting. And then I was like, because we were talking about you, obviously, and how you're a lineman now, and you had the right mindset of fighting's not going to last forever. I could still ride this till the wheels fall off, probably take some brain damage, probably get a little fucking beat up in the long run, but I'm going to go do this. And Greg was saying that's something they want to do here at Sanford eventually, is figure out like a program, if you will, or figure out the steps like a fighter can have to get into something like that. And then I brought up BJ Penn, and we were both like, oh my God, like that's a guy who I guess.
Can you hold that for 1 second? Either we wrap this thing up shortly, or I got to go to the bathroom.
What kind of bathroom?
Number one.
Okay, yeah, go handle that. And then think back of how we're going to talk about BJ Penn when he comes back. But yes, BJ Penn, don't know what he was thinking. DUI or something. Driving under the influence. You hate to see that. For anyone, let alone a guy you thought was, this amazing fighter and at one point was one of the best to ever do it. And then he tarnished his legacy by continuing to fight. Now he's always getting charges and shit. I'm sure he's doing drugs and fuck. We got to hang out with BJ. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we got to get him on the show. Dennis was supposed to go to Hawaii, but failed a COVID test. Caught a case of COVID. Right? We could have. You were going to Hawaii. What you were hitting up Diego? Oh, well, you were hitting up Diego to meet him in New Mexico.
Yes.
When you first did that, I was like, oh, is he trying to get BJ? Because Diego and BJ are friendly from when BJ came to Jackson's.
Right.
So that's what I thought.
I was in my head. I was like, man, if I hang out with Diego, I'll probably see some other cool, people and shit like that and shoot the shit. But I was also like, Diego's a great guy. But there's like one or two Diegos. I was like, oh yes, my friend, I'll
Dennis,
fucking kill you.
Dennis, we going to strip club.
Yeah, and I was like, I got my lady with me. I don't know if he'll let's go. I have go. Whoa,
bro,
no.
How great would it be if we went to New Mexico and we did a podcast out of that strip club?
Wow.
And I got to be like, Cinnamon, are you the one with John Jones? Get in here. Get in here. Sit down.
How strong was John Jones' grip when he?
And then it's like, sit down. Right here. Right here, I got a spot for you. I don't do that. And then you just go like this with a couple of ones. And she's popping in your lap.
right here.
Right here. Right here. But I'm pretty sure that's the same club that he got in trouble at too, Diego.
Yeah, you said that.
No, remember, he said it. Remember, we were like, when we had Diego on, we were like, it's kind of a gray area. We won't talk about it. And then he came out, we're like, I hit the guy with my gun. You know, we're like, what the fuck? What'd you do? You went back for your gun and then hit the guy? All right, yeah, that's cool. We were going to ask you about that, but yeah. Menace.
So I'm giving you my COVID story.
Go for it.
I'm supposed to visit my younger brother in Hawaii. He's been there for a couple years, hounding me. Come, when are you going to come? I'm going to come.
Coast Guard.
Yes. So me and my lady, we take a company called Vault. We take a Vault test, which is you Zoom with Vault. You spit this little tube. They tell you like what package to put it in.
Wait.
They watch you.
Wait. You spit in it? You don't swab yourself?
Yeah.
You
Spit.
Okay,
You
continue.
got to fill this vial up pretty good. You spit it, right? They watch you seal it, whatever. And they're like, okay, mail it. I'm like, I'm taking it right to UPS right now. So it's 8 a.m. on a Wednesday. I overnighted it. I'm at UPS at 9 a.m. Overnight package. The lab is in New Jersey. So in the thing, the lady's like, yeah, we'll probably have your results by tomorrow night, Thursday night. So we're like, all right, cool. So Christmas was Friday, nothing. So we're like, all right. My brother tells me that when he did his Vault test, that he got his results on the way to the airport. So we're like, okay, let's go to the airport. So our flight was Saturday. We get to the airport at 4 a.m.
So you fly out of New York, you fly to
Hear me out. We get to LaGuardia at 4 a.m. for a 6:30 flight. We're kind of waiting for our results. We don't get our results before 5:30, so we tell them like, hey, we got to rebook our flight because, we don't have results to go to Hawaii, so we're not going to, So the lady goes, well, there's a testing lab down in the garage here. We have our own COVID test here at LaGuardia. So we're like, okay, because on the Hawaii website, it says airports. I guess it was a specific airport. Anyway, so we go down there. We take the PCR test. We'll get our results on like Monday. So we're like, all right, cool. So we're driving home. We're not going to Hawaii on Saturday, right? So we're driving home. My brother's wife is like, are you sure that what's the name of that lab? So we look it up. She's like, it's not on the Hawaii thing. So that test doesn't even count for us to go to Hawaii, right? So my brother's wife's trying to figure out the fastest way to get us to Hawaii. She goes, there's a 24-hour test at a JFK, but they don't have availability till Tuesday. And me and my lady already had these days off, so we want to try and capitalize. She does some more research. She goes, there's a 24-hour lab test out of LA. You guys can fly out tomorrow, take the test at 3 p.m., and then fly out Monday to Hawaii, and you'll gain an extra day back. So we're like, okay. So we get on the plane. United is amazing, by the way, right?
They're definitely
And
better
I
than
didn't
American.
know how COVID worked with flights. I don't know. Like there's restaurants, there's space. So I'm thinking maybe it's just going to be me and my lady in this section of 3. So my lady grabs a seat, and then I'm sitting next to her. And then when someone's walking down, they're looking at like their seat that's next to you. And you just know that, and you give them like, yeah. All right. So you get out, right? Let him in. This guy had on like a fur jacket, bleach blonde hair, and like a red glitter mask. I'm like, oh, yeah. And my lady looks at me. She goes, I'm like, you want me to sit next to him? She goes, all right. So, and this guy was, I'm assuming he was, play for the other team.
Yes. Damn.
But with that, he just I don't know how to put it. Like he felt like, like, I'm this way. So I could do like, I'm able to do things because like, listen, like this is how I am, So everyone, you're supposed to like, if you take a sip, you just kind of like lift your mask up, or kind of put food into this mask. This guy's like, how am I supposed to eat with a mask on? Like I just mask completely off. My lady's like, he needs to put his mask on. I'm just like,
yeah, please.
Fuck, just like whatever. So, and then this guy would be like coughing here and there. I'm like, yo, anyways. So we get to LA. Me and my lady take the COVID tests with a company called Carbon Health. Right now, me and Carbon Health are having a problem. If they don't come to my demands, I'm going to be posting about how Carbon Health fucking sucks every damn day. Anyways, so we go take the test. My brother has like my sign-on information, right? So me and my lady pass out. We were ready for our flights on Monday. My brother calls us at midnight, like, you're positive. We're like, whoa. Like, we woke up out of sleep. Like, what do you mean? He's like, you're fucking positive. I'm like, and my lady's like, who? She's like, Dennis, he's positive. And my lady looks at me like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you came up positive. So I like sign on to the app and like, sure enough, says I'm positive. My lady's negative. I'm like, this is complete bullshit. My lady's like I'm a goddamn zombie. That's like infectious.
Like spraying you in the face with Lysol.
Yeah. Like make sure you wash your hands, get on that side of the room, mask on. Don't touch anything. I'm like, I don't have COVID.
And it's like matter of fact, don't even talk to me. Don't talk to me. I don't
have COVID, right? But then it started like them. Like, I mean, maybe I'm asymptomatic. Like,
yeah,
But I'm like, this is bullshit. How is she negative and I'm not? Like, we've been sharing drinks. We've been together for the last 3 days, like straight, flying next to each other. Couple makeout sessions. And like, how do I have it? She doesn't. This is bullshit. She's like, can you smell? Can you taste? Yeah. So I'm like, this is horseshit. So I'm like, yo, if I go back tomorrow, maybe I'll be able to still fly out. We'll book it back a day. So now I'm a little panicky. My brother's like, dude, you tested positive. Like, you're like flagged. Like, you can't fly. This is also, we don't know what's right, what's wrong.
Yeah.
In my head, California's be calling me, asking me where I am. Like, I'm like, dude.
I'm going to jail if I fuck it up.
Yeah. Like, I've heard of that. I've heard about people getting to Hawaii, not quarantining, and then like, yep, here, hold this. Hold this fucking $5,000 fine.
Yeah, didn't they tell you something like it's a big fine if they catch you?
Yeah, so I'm like,
if they catch you not quarantined in California, they told you they were going to fine you, right? Or something along those lines. No one
ever said anything to me about that. I'm just going off of like what I've heard or the scare tactic or, So I'm like, I'm not quarantining in LA. One, I can't afford it. Like, what am I going to just blow money just fucking sitting in a hotel room watching like basic cable? Like, no chance. Like, worst case scenario, I'm driving across the country in 3 days and I'll quarantine at home playing video games. Like, that's the worst case scenario. So I make a few calls, call some people.
Shout out.
I got
the homie Rich Schaefer.
I got somebody on the Suffolk County Board of COVID kind of overseeing my drive across the country. And I was checking in with them and obviously minimal stops, kind of like Greg Jones said. So I go take a second test at Carbon, same place I said I was positive. Me and my lady rent a car and we kick it back home, So we're in LA, right? It doesn't fucking rain in LA. It is downpouring. My lady's a little Filipino girl, so it's like a double like whammy, and she's driving. It's downpouring. It's 29 degrees. It's like 36 on Long Island.
California's crazy cold right now. It's really cold.
Bro, this couldn't have been this is the complete worst scenario, right? So as we start driving towards Arizona, it starts sleeting, right? Hail. What the fuck? We tried to go into use a restroom because we both had to pee. McDonald's, nope, can't not open, only drive through. So we had to drive down the road and pee on the side of the road. Then we get going. It's snowing now. We're in Arizona. It's midnight. My lady's tire pressure just came on. What? She's tire pressure just came on. I'm I don't know. I guess maybe it just got colder. The molecules in the tire went down enough to flag it, I'm is the car pulling? The wheel. It pulls a little bit. And she's I think I have a flat tire. I'm no, we don't. Just keep going. So I'm if you want to pull it, with an attitude, if you want to pull over, pull over. I don't, whatever. Right? She just pulls over. The speed limit on the highway is 70. Big truck trailers vroom, vroom. We're parked. We're pulled over the side of the road, in the settings of the hills have eyes.
Yeah.
Desert, weird rocks and shit. We get out. I check my side. Yep. There's one over here. I'm you're kidding. In my head, I'm she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's a girl. Get over there. The rim's sitting on the fucking ground. Fuck.
Yeah.
I've never had to change a tire before.
Really?
So I've never had to. I'm so she's do you know how to change a tire? I'm I know how to change a tire. And I knew where it was. I've done it 5 times. I've done it 10 times. I fucking put it in. Jack, she's being a little bit of I don't think the jack goes there. I'm just hold the light.
Man, woman, I got this.
Just hold I'm irritable. It's 29
so wait,
degrees.
You were that. You were that dad meme. Just hold the fucking flashlight. Just hold the fucking flashlight.
Yeah.
Just hold the flashlight.
It's snowing, right? She's trying to help. When you help, there's no light. Just hold the phone, So I'm doing whatever. Get the tire on. We're on a donut, right? We're driving. So as we're driving, she's how fast do we go on a donut? How, so I'm looking up all this information. So it's pretty much don't go faster than 60 miles per hour and don't drive further than 70 miles. We were doing 70 and we drove at 150 miles, right? Then we get to, before I'm all right, this area will do. We're kind of near the Grand Canyon in a town called Williams. So on the way, I'm calling hotels. Hey, do you have a vacancy? Hey, you have vacancy? Nothing. I called 9 hotels, no vacancy in any of them. My lady called 6, nothing. So I'm
and this is where? Arizona?
We're in Arizona. It's 22 degrees out now. We slept in the car. Obviously the car would be on, we'd sleep, we'd get kind of hot, turn it off, just on and off. I'm so my lady wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning, we should keep driving. We can't. We have to wait for Hertz to open up. So we take the car there. Hopefully they change our tire, whatever, nothing's open. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Where are you going to go? We're already, this tire, I'm sure it could go 300 miles, but with our luck so far, this donut's gonna pop too, right? With that being said, too, so we're driving and I'm calling a Hertz too before we shut it down. I was on the phone for 2 hours on hold before my phone just Hertz just hung up on me, I guess. I'm what if I was
dying?
Yeah, what if this was really, really bad?
I guess then dying, you'd be call 911, you fucking idiot.
Yes, but I don't know. Let's say this car was not working.
Yeah.
What? I was pissed. So we get to Hertz in Flagstaff, and we're hey.
So wait, Arizona's closed or open? They're closed down, right?
Pretty open.
They were, yeah, I think they might have been one of the states that was open, but I remember they had a pretty high COVID number at one point.
Yeah. So we're Flagstaff. We go to Hertz. We're like, hey, here's what happened. They're like, you didn't buy the insurance for the car. I'm like, there was a bubble on the inside of the tire. How is that my fault that it fucking popped? We didn't hit anything. We didn't there's a bubble on the tire. It was going to pop and this is on you guys. I was like, you didn't get the insurance. I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. You gave me a faulty fucking car and it's my problem. You didn't get the insurance. Let me talk to the manager. So this guy comes out, fucking gave him the same shit. He's like, well, I can give you a $50 credit. That should cover the tire. And my lady's like, yeah, they're 50, 60. I'm like, they're 80.
Yeah, used tires $40. A new tire.
Right. So, and the guy's like, just get whatever you can get. Just get whatever you can get.
What guy? The guy from Hertz?
He wasn't like, yeah, you got to get the matching tires. Just get any tire. Whatever. So all right. So we go get the tire. Tire's $80. Right. Then, so we're trying to turn. So now we're at breakfast waiting for the tire to get fixed. Our results come in from the second carbon test. I'm negative. I'm like, you motherfucker. It did take some stress off my shoulders in terms of let's say California called me where are you? I'm like, I could be where the fuck I want. I'm negative, and I'd have to keep calling my guy, but I still couldn't fly to Hawaii because I think it's 14 days from when you tested positive. Doesn't matter if you test negative the next day.
Well, even that, you had hit me up and started giving me the details originally. I was looking for COVID tests for you. I had my sister looking for. We were trying to find the specific Hawaii protocol COVID test because you couldn't just get any test. You had to get specific.
Right, you need a PCR test from approved.
So you saw that. So you saw that one thing that came out right after your thing is the WHO or the WHO said if you test positive for COVID, you're not positive. They were positive for COVID. The new guideline is 2 positive COVID tests and having symptoms.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So you're telling me this whole time none of us probably even had it and we just got fucked into this whole situation?
When did this come out?
Maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I said, and wasn't on the news, wasn't on anything. Go to the WHO's website. Boom, it's real. I said to my sister, she was like, that's not true. I sent her the article, link to it. It's the truth. The World Health Organization said 1 positive COVID test doesn't mean you have COVID. It's what? We're supposed, what? And then it's yeah, 2 positive COVID tests means you have COVID. Plus, you got to have symptoms. So then
my sister-in-law is kind of telling me no, Dennis, you probably have it. It's more positive that you get a false negative than a false positive. And I'm like,
bro, when I just went back to New York, I didn't see my nephews. My sister would not let me see my nephews without going and getting the test. And I was and I started showing her articles. I'm I'm not going to get a test. I have no symptoms. They're telling me.
But it's hard to get a test.
Yeah, I'm not going to go.
You can't get a test for free without any symptoms, right?
If COVID is so deadly and real, I'm actually putting myself at risk with no symptoms going to get checked. Most of the people there are probably getting checked because they have symptoms. You know what I mean? So I'm and then I started showing her the articles, and I'm they're telling the government, the WHO, these health organizations are saying, I don't need to get tested. I have no symptoms. What are we doing here? And my sister was just no. If you don't want to go get a COVID test, you're not coming over. And I was all right, waving to my nephews through the windows. Being outside and having to FaceTime and stuff. Because I know.
But the chances, I guess, of you getting a false positive or not a crazy number, 1 in 10.
Is that the number? Because remember, when we had Wade on, there was a point, and even realistically, it's I either have it or I don't have it.
Those were the first tests. This is a PCR test, so
a little more thorough.
PCR tests is there's rapid tests, which is I guess a quick little
Well, no, that's what the article said too. It said 1 positive PCR test does not mean you have COVID. 2 positive, and it wasn't rapid. It was PCR. Two people,
Right.
they like went to that point where it's like, no, our most thorough test. You need 2 of them and symptoms. So do we cut this overall number in half, or, there are 400,000 people died, millions of people have it. Is that the real number?
Yeah.
No fucking chance. No fucking chance. Deadliest disease in the world. Deadliest disease ever. Kills 0.001%.
So we tried to turn this drive across. We're not going to Hawaii. Let's try and make this trip across the country like kind of cool. So I'm like, let's go check out the Grand Canyon. I've been there before. It's very beautiful.
I've yet to go.
Again, it's like 27 degrees. So we drive like an hour and a half out of our way. We're 2 miles from the Grand Canyon, and we get to like dead halt stop. I'm like, and it's inching. But we've been waiting in the car now for like 45 minutes to move like a quarter of a mile. I'm like, dude, this sucks. So we kind of like pull off at like a little information center. We go in there, and there's like tour guides in there and shit like that, like a Hummer, and that will drive you around the Grand Canyon. So we go in there, check it out, and the guy's like, yeah, I mean, it's $150 per person. I'm like, fuck off, I'm not paying that. But he's like, unfortunately, it's like a 2-hour wait to even get to the Grand Canyon because the roads are icy and cars are spitting out. I'm like, I rented this shitty like Sentra. I don't know if we're gonna I don't want to get up there. This thing, like, again, with our luck, we're not making it there. So we're like, all right, let's cut our loss here. Let's get out of here. We're this place called Arizona, where you drive your car through this like little like a little path, and they have like Cajun wolves and bears and fucking bison and shit like that.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. So then we stay.
Your trip was almost like Murphy's Law. Like whatever's gonna go wrong, will go wrong.
Yes.
And then
we started making decisions off of that.
I was just gonna say, you and your lady, I know her. You guys both were probably like, well, this is gonna happen. Like, no, this is gonna happen.
This could happen. It will happen to us. So,
yeah.
So then we stay the night in Phoenix, get us some, little BBQ, and then I'm like, babe, let's try and go to Nashville, spend New Year's Eve in Nashville. I think that would be pretty cool.
Wait, all right, because it was New Year's. Did you guys at least do some sex on this trip?
No, not really. No. Yeah, I don't know what
was in the back of her mind the whole time. She's like, he's got COVID. He's got COVID. I'm not letting that dick near me. He's got COVID.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, too, like after driving for like over 8 hours, when you get to a hotel and you're shutting it down, you're not like.
Thank you again, Greg. Yes, Greg Jones said he had to run out. Practice went a little late.
Yeah, we'll get him later.
Oh, but even like when I was bullshitting with him before, he was like, anytime you need a co-host, anytime you want to do anything, he's down. So, and even he was like, he said he wants to do more content. I was like, I don't know how to work it all, but I got some equipment.
Yeah. So we start heading through Texas to try and we were going to go to Arkansas, crash with a high school buddy, and then go to Nashville the next night. And I'm on the phone with my buddy. I'm like, hey, man, we're coming. So we're about 45 minutes past El Paso. It's 29 or 20. It's like 27 degrees. It's snowing. There's like 4 inches of snow on the ground in Texas. I'm like, and I'm looking at like New York. It's like 35. I'm like, how's it colder down here than it is where I'm from? I came on this trip to get in the heat, So we're about 45 minutes past El Paso. We come to some traffic, slow down, dead stop. What's going on here? No service on my phone. It's about 4 p.m., My lady, we've been in traffic for like a couple hours. Like, what's going on here? My lady goes on, she has like one bar. So she goes on Waze, there's like a message area.
Yep.
Someone said that they spoke to a state trooper. The state trooper told them to hunker down for the night. Like, what?
In the traffic jam, hunker down?
Yes. Snowing, like wild. So
wait, in what part of the country?
Texas.
Texas, snowing like wild. Texas doesn't. It snows in Texas? I thought it was fucking hot. I didn't know it snows in Texas.
So.
Oh, wait, it doesn't snow in Texas. When Dennis goes there, it does.
Yeah. So I start even going through AM radio stations. Kind of, what the fuck is going on here? Turns out a tractor trailer jackknife, 15-car pileup. We didn't start moving again until 3 a.m.
So how many hours?
Lights in traffic, just going to sleep.
How many hours till you move?
So
Wait, you started at what? 10 hours till you started moving.
Yeah. Then it was like 2 hours of like slow moving and like going around because people like ran out of gas. People fucking got stuck, you know? So it was like the Wild Wild West, even getting out of, you know, that shit past the train. It was insane.
So even
then, we couldn't make it to Nashville, like for New Year's Eve. So we went to my buddy's place in Arkansas, crashed with him, and did, you know, a little New Year's Eve.
Yeah, we never even talked about it. I didn't realize where you spent New Year's Eve. You spent it in Arkansas because I was telling you, come to Florida, bro, and it was like you were like, I'm not gonna make it in time. I'm just too far. You would have made it like a day after.
Yeah. So, and then the next day we went to Nashville. Checked out
now
for a couple hours.
How was the drive?
From Nashville, we just kicked it home 13 hours.
How was the actual drive? You know, because how often do you sit behind a wheel for?
Right. I mean, I don't mind driving, but I've driven, you know, from New York to upstate, from Long Island to Pennsylvania multiple times. And like the roads are all the same. When you're on the Midwest, though, the speed limits are 80 at some spots.
Yeah.
Or 70, and just really cool mountains, and you know, it's and driving cross country and watching some of these sunsets and sunrises is pretty cool. Bucket list worthy for sure.
We got the burned children in here now, but like, man, I didn't know what it would be like. I've driven, so I just drove to Florida recently, and that's why I was asking what the drive was like. I was in the zone. Like, I drove straight through.
Yeah, you get in the zones.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Before I knew it, I looked around. I looked at the clock, and like, I was like, oh, shit, I'm in, like, Georgia. I'm, like, here almost, you know? Like, time just...
Yeah, so I've done Long Island to Florida. I drove LaFleur's, what do you have at the time?
His Cherokee?
Down there for
but now, what, you did, were you by yourself?
Yeah, I was by myself. So I took like an Adderall and I had an energy drink. I was just like,
yeah.
Actually, what I did was I had just downloaded Spotify. So I started making playlists. By the time I got down to Florida, I had like...
I was so hopped up on G Fuel that I drove straight through. It's an 18-hour drive. At one point, I had like a 3-hour traffic jam, so it took me 21 hours. That's why I asked you didn't move for how long? I didn't move, not an inch, for 3 hours. Tractor trailer went off the road, and it wasn't a big car pileup. It was a tractor trailer, went off the road, like snapped in half. So half the tractor trailer was off in the bushes, the other half like fell in the middle of the road on its side. On its side, like some craziness. The one car that was involved with the accident had to be emergency airlifted, so people were updating that in the waves, you know, like we're not moving for a while. There's a helicopter coming, the road's covered with like feathers. It was like a pillow, an 18-wheeler moving feathers or pillows or something, you know what I mean? So that was
chickens?
No, but there was feathers everywhere. Like just everywhere. So they're like sweeping up. Well, as even I finally started moving and got up to where it was, they're like sweeping up these feathers and stuff. And I was just so hopped up on G Fuel. By the time I got to Florida, I was like, what are we doing? Like, I'm ready to go out. I'm not sleeping. I'm ready to go. What are we doing? You want to train? Like, I just wasn't even there. But shout out to G Fuel. G Fuel in Wawa's. G Fuel's here. They're in South Florida. They're everywhere. There's Wawa's everywhere. Every Wawa has G Fuel. At least to my knowledge. Every Wawa I stop in has G Fuel. So you're doing good, Cliff. You're doing good. Not you. Maybe, I don't know what Sal's doing, but maybe you too, Sal. Nah, both of them. It's like, you know, especially for you, I'm sure you'd be like, man, this is cool. It's cool to see that. You know, like I told you that one day We haven't podcasted since that. I walked in. You were like, you should have asked that lady to redo it. Remember, the lady was in there like buying. Some lady was buying all the G Fuel for her son, and I'm like, oh, that stuff's good, right? And she's like, my son, kid's obsessed with it, won't stop. He's like, I can't even play video games without G Fuel. So I was like, get more, yeah, it's good. She got like 6 cans, and I was like, man, right afterward, I was like, I should have videotaped that and sent it to Cliff. It would have been a great clip, but you know how it is. So even like what we did last time when we did the Gilbert and Chaz episode, as soon as we ended, a bunch of fighters came in and were like, yo, you want me now? And I was like, no, we just wrapped up. So I'm sure that's going to happen here too, but we'll end this so we don't have a crazy long episode. I don't even know what the next fights that are coming up, but we'll preview them. We're back on our shit now. Like Dennis put me in check today, and he was like, Tuesdays I podcast. Stop trying to make me podcast on other days, or I'm coming down there to fuck you up in my gi. So now, so you're a one-stripe white belt. Last time, that's what you were like, did you do the sex, Chaz? And all the little kids were in here. Yeah, because you can't see anything that's going on in here, you know?
Right.
And then Chaz didn't even care about the kids, was like, I do the sex all the time with my right hand. And then I thought, like, that, I guess that's why Gilbert was like covering his face, because it was like 17 kids all right there. They were all like, what's the sex? That's how you got here, little guy. But yeah, and even that, I don't want to bother Gilbert before the fight, but I might, because Gilbert's the nicest guy in the world. Maybe I want to redo that episode, if you will, because that episode sucked with Chaz and Gilbert. They just couldn't hear anything. All you could hear was the loudness that the room picked up.
Well, we can't ask them the same questions.
No, but we could tell, like, remember last time we talked to you about the Poirier fight, and this is how it went, and Conor. So we'll end the show on this. What'd you think of Conor McGregor? Like how, like, you know, for me, I'm a big Conor McGregor fan. That was tough.
It's the fight game, man, and he kind of said how it is. I mean, just
like,
had a good game plan, and it just wasn't. I mean, that's like, could Conor beat him on a different night? Sure.
Like, I like Dustin Poirier. Never met him. Talked to him a little bit through messages, and seems like the nicest guy in the world. Is a big Dennis Bermudez fan, but like, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't rooting for Conor in that fight. You know, but
I wanted Dustin to win.
We're obviously gonna get Dustin on before we get Conor on, because Conor's very hard to reach. But even that, yeah. When he started doing all the media, I'm like, man, Dennis, we should have shot that shot. I didn't realize he was doing so many interviews. We definitely would have got him. 100%, I think we would have got him. Some of the shows that I saw him do, I was like, damn. But
last time shows?
Yeah. Just was mailing them in, just mailing out interviews. But we'll work on that in the future. So here at Sanford, they got a barber here who cuts hair and stuff on Tuesdays. Things are good here.
That. It looks awesome.
Looks amazing. He cuts good hair too. So this is gonna be my new barber.
You gonna get edged up?
Bro, I've got 2 haircuts in Florida, and they are terrible. They are terrible. So if you want to tape up, you want to fade, they don't even know what they're doing. They have no clue what they're doing.
So the barber at Sanford, is he open up to public or just for fighters?
He has his own spot, he said. Open to the public. Maybe we'll get him on next week or something and give him a little plug. But got his own business. Comes here on Tuesdays. But episode 103, it was great seeing you, Menace.
Likewise.
As always, hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Or maybe we'll hang out, unless I catch COVID on the drive back or something, and then you don't want to hang out.
Sounds good.
All right, you're the man, Menace.
Well, see you later.